is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin' Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down, handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Moore. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it is a fantastic Friday edition of Talking Cowboys as we get you set for another frolicking football weekend.
Mr. Alliteration.
You got to be careful of those, by the way.
Jeez.
Yes, it kicked off last night with Thursday night football. It continues tonight with high school football. We got college football tomorrow. We got the Cowboys and the Redskins Sunday at noon, Dallas time. And who's making the trip?
Those two.
Rob Phillips, Mickey Spagnola, making the trip.
Not me.
Anything special on your trip to D.C.?
I'm planning to be a tourist if I can get over there and do if my back cooperates and do some sightseeing. That's my plan.
What do you want to go see?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything related to this great country. Yes.
So you want to walk down
I want to do the landmarks.
the mall?
Yeah, I want to do all that stuff.
Have you never done that before?
I've never done it.
Oh, come on. Seriously.
Never. I mean, we did a little bit on the trip last year with the team, but saw the Lincoln Monument, but I want to see more. That's my plan.
I liked it when the
team
team's
good football.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that too.
Yeah,
That's the next
good,
day.
Good football. Yeah. Some good football. Yeah.
But it is great to renew the rivalry, which hasn't been as much of a rivalry the last 20 years, but it's still the Redskins. In Washington, they say it's Cowboys week, and here we say it's Redskins week.
It's a desperate team, though. They can't. They don't want to start 0-2 in the division. You know,
it's not just 0-2. Period.
It's
right.
It's
They're
0-2 in the division.
Yep.
You know, and FedEx Field. Mickey has written a book on the great history of this rivalry, and this place is not RFK, but it's got the weirdness to it. You know, it's got the weird feel of games. It's got the bouncing of balls and injured players playing great, and guys. Unfortunate calls in a game that kind of turn it one way or another. And, I think this is going to be difficult. Are the Cowboys a better team? Yes, they're absolutely a better team. But you just, with desperation in week 2, and this just goes back to my days of being on the personnel side, those teams are 0-1. Mm-hmm. You will do anything in your power to make that thing 1-1. And now you're talking about, we've got to make sure that we're not 0-2 in the division with, the way things are. I mean, that could put you in an early hole, especially with the way this division tends to be, like Rob likes to say, one game. It could come down to one game. And, Dallas goes and finds a way to get a victory there at that crazy place they call FedEx. That puts them in a good spot. Now, with the Dolphins coming to town, and then you got the games with New Orleans. And so you take them one at a time, as coaches like to say, but this is important really for both teams if you want to look at it that way.
Yep.
Chalk doesn't always hold up out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, and I'm, you look at this roster for Washington, and I don't say Cowboys have the better team on paper,
they do.
In my opinion.
They do.
I think everybody feels that way, but they've got some talent on both sides of the ball. They have some weapons, some young guys. We talked about McLaurin this week on offense. We've talked about their defensive line. They have guys that can give you problems, and then you factor in having to go up there and deal with that crowd noise. I'm interested to see how this offense responds in a hostile environment, because it's going to be hostile.
The good thing about it, though, is there's a lot of fans, Cowboy fans in that area. I know when I used to make the trips, I'll never forget that, how loud it was when Romo threw that fourth down pass to Murray that won that game, when he was playing with the busted back and all that stuff. So the fan base there does a nice job of fighting the Redskin fans, who could be pretty vocal, but you got to give them the Washington Redskins have got to give them a reason to play. I mean, they've got to get a reason for those fans to get involved, because the Cowboys will do a good job of getting their guys home. But, it's just a difficult place to play. The grass, the officials, you have to play them sometimes. Again, desperation. There's so many things that factor into already a Week 2 game. I'm one of these guys, and I'm sorry this is the way I am. I see every game as being must win. That's just me, because I know at the end of the day I'm either going to have enough or I'm not going to have enough. So you got to go out there and play like it's, and the Redskins, I think, are they see it as already as we can't fall down to this thing. Look at like Carolina last night after that game. All the interviews with, the players were just, Cam Newton and McCaffrey, they're all just distraught that, they're 0-2 and both their losses have been at home.
Right.
And now you're thinking of having to dig out.
And the quarterback is playing like he's playing right now.
Exactly,
and, wow.
exactly. So that I don't think Washington wants to feel that. And Dallas, like I said, Dallas is a better football team than the Washington Redskins. If you just went player for player, but it's going to be up to them to go out there and play like they were a better team.
And it is still, and as Mickey knows because he's covered this team a long time, it's the biggest game of the year for the fans that aren't on the Cowboys side. There. It's a huge week.
Cowboys week is bigger up there than Redskins week is down here. There's no Redskins week here anymore.
That's true.
But it's Cowboys week up there, believe me.
I'm glad you brought up the Romo to Murray. I mean, that was one
loudest
of the great,
I've ever. I mean, on a visiting stadium, I couldn't believe how loud that was.
Because we think of the great moments from the Cowboys' perspective in this rivalry, going back to Clint Longley on Thanksgiving Day,
right.
Roger in his last regular season game in '79, the great comeback 35-34.
Tony Hill.
I love the
right.
Joe Theismann birthday game at Texas Stadium where the Cowboys blew him out in the season opener. Nate Newton was talking about the game in the early 90s when the Redskins had the best team in the league.
Sure.
And they go in there and the onside kick and the Cowboys hit them in the mouth. And the Cowboys didn't have the best team on paper that year, but they won on that day. But that Romo game was, it goes right up there with one of the greatest performances in this rivalry, I think.
Oh, no, there's no question.
With a back that needed surgery.
Exactly.
Yeah, he could barely, if you remember, I think it was set up by a throw to Terrence Williams down the sidelines that they busted coverage on. So, there's so many big plays in the history, but it's going to take big plays to win this game on Sunday. That's the one thing that the Cowboys have shown, at least through week one, is they're capable of making those big plays. They could put a lot of pressure on Greg Minuski in this defense. If Minuski has, that's the thing about dealing with the Cowboys now is if you do make a mistake, a 10, 12-yard pass turns into a 60-yard play. You have that kind of ability, and you have a quarterback that's understanding what's going on, and then you're going to get this running back. He knows, okay, now it's time for me. I'm seeing all these guys do things. Now it's time for me. I know week two, hey, let's get me going here. He knows what he has to do.
I wrote about it during the week that the top three wide receivers on this team were in the top 30 or whatever among receivers in yards after catch in that game. And I wonder if that's going to turn into a trend because they got three guys that can really do something with the football after they get it. Now, on the flip side, how much can this defense tighten up from last week? Because Washington has guys that can beat you too, and Case Keenum narrowly missed McLaurin again deep. We talk about Dak 405. He would have been well over 400 with probably another touchdown had he connected deep in that second half.
Well, Case Keenum, if we remember a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, led a Minnesota Viking team to the NFC Championship game. So
he's a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback. I think you have to be very mindful of him as a player, and he's not going to make mistakes. That's kind of where we talked about with Smith last year, what he was able to do, and how he just kind of tick down the field. Same type of guy, not going to take a bunch of sacks. If he does get hit, he's going to get up. He's going to throw it 3/4 sidearm. He's going to throw it around you. He's going to move around in the pocket a little bit. So, you have to – and if they get that running game going, if Dallas has problems stopping the run, then this game could be very close, very tight. And then it's anybody's game if that's the case, because then you have to say, okay, well, they need to block Ryan Kerrigan. Now, I do like the matchup with the Cowboys, and I've got my pick to click when we get to that. But, I like some of the matchups on the defensive side of the ball for the Cowboys if it turns into a game where the Redskins have to throw the football consistently to come back in this game.
And the Redskins a week ago, they get up 17-0 in that game, and they never established the run against the Eagles last week.
Never did.
Geis had 18 yards on 10 carries,
right.
and I think Thompson was 3 for 10.
Right.
And they didn't even try to establish
No, they did. It was too
run.
late. And once they lost Jonathan Allen on defense, that's when the Eagles took full advantage of what was going on with that front. They do not have the depth that the Cowboys have along that defensive line. And that's going to be the big issue for them, is how are they going to replace Jonathan Allen in this game? I have a feeling that Tim Settle is going to go outside there, but they're going to have to rotate a lot of guys through there. But that is a big, big loss for those guys to have to deal with. And good for the Cowboys if it's in fact, okay, got to find a way to kind of run the football a little bit, or at least establish some balance to how they're going to play.
And basically the guys they have up front, now that Allen is out, who's a former first-round draft pick, is
right.
another Alabama first-round pick in Deron Payne. But
good player.
Then you got fifth-rounders, but Matt Ioannidis has played well.
He is.
Yeah.
He's their version of Tyron Crawford. Yeah. If I say that,
yeah.
right. I mean, he's a guy that can kind of play a couple different spots. He's never going to flash at you with a lot of pass rush. He's really a powerful guy. He plays square. He's very good against the run, and when he tends to play a little high, then people can take advantage of it. But he doesn't. He plays with knee bend, and he's along the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, they're going to have to come out here, and if they're going to have to be physical with this Washington offensive line if they want to get Ezekiel Elliott going.
Well, and then along those lines, I'm just looking at the coach's film a little bit from last week.
Yeah.
That fifth-round linebacker, Cole Holcomb.
Yeah, I wrote about him as my under-the-radar guy this week. Yeah, he is a guy that if you watched him play at North Carolina, he's got 4.5 speed, legit.
He's got a Van Der Esch look to him on the field.
He's very long.
Uh-huh.
He can run, and when he has a feel for how to shoot gaps. So if you don't get second-level hats on him, he'll run through or he'll run backside to chase plays. That's what he did at North Carolina. Now, he could be a little too aggressive, too. You'll see him sometimes go too far and then get washed on the play and then go that way. So, yeah, that's how you have to you got to make sure you get hats on him the way. He had a really good, kind of an emergency starter last week, but showed some really good things for these guys.
And as we dive, we just by happenstance started diving into the Redskin defense here.
Yeah.
That Montez Sweat. Wow.
One of my favorite players.
Wow.
I'm surprised the Raiders didn't take him with the, I know they took the kid from Clemson to 4th overall. Mm-hmm. Sweat, to me, would have been a better pick right there. And I was really surprised that he lasted to, I believe, 17.
And you'll see it on the Jason Garrett show, probably posted on DallasCowboys.com. He breaks down, Will McClay breaks down the edge rushers, both Kerrigan and Montez Sweat.
Two good ones right there, yeah.
And I asked him about Sweat, and I had forgotten this, and you're well aware of it. He was it a heart issue?
Had a heart issue in the
right. And that's why he slid until late first round.
Yeah, it wasn't like the kid from Michigan that went in the 5th round to the Raiders. This was one that everybody kind of, they kind of got a handle on real early in here.
Right, and I didn't really, and maybe because of the heart issue, whatever, I didn't really look at him. I don't have time like you do to go into these draft prospects. And so I saw him basically for the first time yesterday, and I went, "Whoa, look at this guy!"
Yeah.
And Will was breaking it down. My first reaction on him was, "Look at those long arms on that guy."
He is.
And Will said, "Yeah, they're 35'6".
Yeah, every thing that he had to go through when he went through his senior year at Mississippi State to the Senior Bowl to the Combine to getting drafted, all that, there was an improvement in everything that he did along the way. I mean, he was impressive. Mississippi State, he got the Senior Bowl, was clearly one of the best players on the field. And then you look at what he was able to do in the draft, get the draft, and then now with the Redskins. I was shocked that he lasted to 17. But you're saying there was a medical condition. You're absolutely right about that. But yeah, you have to be ready for him, and he's got the length you talked about with that edge rush.
And Dak is very well aware of him. He's watched him play in college.
Might be
a Mississippi State guy.
Might be a jersey swap after this one. Yeah.
So they still got some dudes up front, even without Jonathan Allen. But I know,
that's right.
Mick, you were talking about the fan this morning that they got to get Zeke going. You think he's ready for more of a load?
I do, and I can tell the way Jason answered the question today. Yeah, I mean, he didn't dive into it, but 37 snaps in the game is better than any practice you ever get. So I don't think he's on a pitch count anymore.
I don't think so
go
either.
with him
and
let him go. 6 practices and 37 snaps in a game. there's no holding back now.
Okay, so then what kind of playing time does Pollard get? How are you going to use Pollard if you're going to go ahead and give Zeke the full dose? I mean, because those were 37 snaps in 3 quarters for Zeke. He didn't play in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And so if that was a close game, he would have been over 50 snaps in that game.
Well, Pollard got
and so I thought
20-some, right?
Yeah. Right, and so it's going to be interesting as we go along how Pollard is used. But I thought the way they used Pollard was effective. Yep. And I don't know that it will, for the first 3 quarters of that game, that it won't be that much different, really.
22 snaps, and what they're going to do is go back to the original plan before Zeke had the holdout.
Right.
The idea was to incorporate him in the offense, give him a series here, or maybe just a play here or a play there, and then get him involved in the passing game.
Because he's a complimentary guy, right? You can pretty much line him up anywhere.
And he probably can do, and it doesn't look like Tavon's playing, right? He's still in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
So he's out. So maybe Pollard picks up some of that in the offense. He can go in the slot. That's what their idea was, to use him. So
from a mental standpoint, for a rookie in his second NFL game, how big is it putting extra stuff like playing him in the slot on his plate?
Young Bill Walsh will get him involved. I wouldn't be surprised if young Bill Walsh will get him involved. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him.
That's a belly laugh.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the backfield together. You come up with the thing about Kellen Moore is he was totally on board when they drafted. It wasn't like a sell job to him from Gary Brown and Philip Tanner and those guys. It was like, hey, we've got a guy that can do a lot of different things. So find ways to incorporate both those guys. There's opportunities there. I mean, you have to be creative. He comes up with wrinkles. We could see them both play. But yeah, Mickey's right. The original plan is run Zeke, and then if you need that changeup, go ahead and put him in there because he practiced all through training camp. You should not be worried. If you evaluated him during training camp and he had a full load to begin with because he was really the only one out there that was playing. And
then week to week, you have a package for him, and so from a mental standpoint, he can handle it because you're not overloading him with a bunch of stuff. It's just what's in the game plan.
What's in the game plan?
Week.
Yeah, what's in the game plan from week to week, right?
Think about when they had Dunbar here. I mean, it was a package like you mentioned, but this guy's a little different because I think he can be a between the tackles guy in addition to.
I liked what I saw from him between the tackles last week. I mean, he had sort of a Zeke look to him. Sometimes I was like, which one's in the game right there? And
the numbers weren't there, but you're also trying to kind of wind the clock out. The Giants know what you're trying to do.
There were no holes there either.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're just getting started here on Talking Cowboys. We've got much to get to on this frolicking Football Friday.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not too...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus!
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store and learn how to buy one smartphone and get a second one on us. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2018.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay and, of course, with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Work the Cowboys way and channel the winning business tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family at Formation. This dynamic workspace provides an elevated work experience on the Star's aspirational campus with exclusive membership options available to meet varying needs. Choose from open workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices to leverage our home field advantage for your individual business success. Limited memberships are available now, so apply today at formationatthestar.com.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit. just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Come out to watch the Cowboys take on the Redskins at the official Dallas Cowboys watch party presented by AT&T this Sunday at the Star in Frisco. Enjoy family-friendly activities, autographs from Dallas Cowboys alumni, and so much more. Admission and parking are free. Visit thestarinfrisco.com for details.
Pre-game show out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Be fun.
What time does that get started? Does that say?
It did not say that.
Our
actually,
pregame show, I know our pregame show starts at 11 a.m.
Well, better start at about 10.
Yeah,
breakfast.
Better get going.
You should have done your pregame show
we're
out
outside.
there.
Yeah, that's right.
We're outside.
Yep.
What are you? Are you out?
We are. No, I'm in Studio CBS 11, and then we have Danny White and Keith Russell live at the stadium.
There you go.
And that's at 10:30. You start at what time?
We start at 11.
Okay, so you could watch Cowboy.
I think we're on after. I think we're on.
Oh yeah, on TXA 21.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah, we're helping out.
We're doing Fort Worth.
Yeah, we're doing something.
Which we now call Texas 21.
Texas 20. Danny was pretty good last week for his first one.
Yeah. Here's since we mentioned Danny, I was doing a little bit of research on Jay Gruden, Will McClay, Danny White. Where am I going with that? Jay Gruden, Will McClay, Danny White.
Okay, Danny White went to school at Arizona State. Will
Okay,
McClay went to
that.
Rice.
Not that.
Indoor
Not
football.
that.
It's the
Arena football.
Arizona Rattlers.
Arena football.
And Utah.
And in 06, he became the head coach of the Utah Blaze.
Okay, I got to get these teams. Okay, Will was the Dallas Desperados.
And
Jay Gruden was the Orlando Predators.
Will played for the Detroit Drive, won
Yep.
championships there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they played Orlando, the Desperados did, for the championship game, I think it was.
Well, Danny White did a heck of a job with the Arizona Rattlers,
That's right.
too. Yeah.
Okay, I've done the research on it. And in fact, Jay Gruden, of course, was a player, and in fact, he was an MVP of the league for the Tampa Bay Storm back in the 90s. Okay,
Tim Markham, I think, was head coach then.
Okay, and so, and there's a connection with the head coaches here. Of course, Garrett played for the San Antonio franchise in the World League of American Football.
I was part of that.
Jay Gruden was with the Barcelona Dragons in '91.
And with Jack Bicknell.
Okay, and then Gruden started playing for the Arena Football League Tampa Bay Storm in 1991. He was the league MVP. They won 4 titles with him as the quarterback of that team. He was the quarterback of the team. All right, but take it before that. And Will McClay, as Rob mentioned, he played for the Detroit Drive. They won 3 arena football titles, 3 Arena Bowls in 89, 90, and 92.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden was on Arena Bowl champions in 91, 93, 95, and 96. Danny White coached the Arizona Rattlers to the Arena Bowl title in 94 and 97. There is a stretch from 1989 to 2004 where one of those 3, Will McClay, Jay Gruden, or Danny White, were in the championship game, and one of those 3 won 10 straight titles from 1989 to 1998.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Arena royalty. I actually got Jay
Now
Gruden.
explain Dak's contract to us.
I got Jay Gruden on the phone like 10 years ago or 15 years ago now to talk about McClay. And because they're buddies, and they were rivals, and they were just
they used
to ribbing each other.
Yes.
I mean, it's hilarious.
And both Jay Gruden and Danny White are in the Arena Football League Hall of Fame.
Located where?
Let's say Tampa.
I'm going to get.
I don't know.
Caden, look that up for me.
Orlando.
Please. Yeah, look that up. Arena Bowl Hall of Fame.
But it says a lot about
coaches.
Paying your dues.
Paying your dues.
They might have a Hall of Fame without a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arena Ball's been going for a long time.
Now that Dave Baker bailed on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. To go to the Hall of Fame himself.
The commissioner.
Babe Ruth. He looks like Babe Ruth. I'm not lying.
He's larger than life.
He is larger than
So
life.
is his head.
He does have a bucket head.
He does. You talked to him, haven't
he's
you?
not lying.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, I remember interviewing him during Arena Football
And
League
you're amazed how
broadcast.
big his head was?
I was amazed how big the human being was.
Yeah, he has a big man.
That might have been one of Rob's first assignments here.
What was that?
Covering arena ball?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just said,
Were you doing the sideline reporting during the games?
I was
No.
the beat writer.
I did radio.
Thanksgiving kids table.
And we did TV also.
I did TV.
Remember
yeah.
we did the games?
Did we have Rocket? We had Rocket Ismail. Speaking of, as we bring it back to Cowboys,
If
Redskins.
Kit was here, Cowboys.
Rocket was the analyst on one, and it was the first arena football game he had ever seen, and so Rocket. It was like whenever any play was made, which was any play of the game, there's a play made every single play. I mean, it's like a touchdown here, a touchdown there. And his commentary was strictly, wow.
Yes. So were you doing the game the time we were sitting, basically, we were located in the stands?
They're hating you right now on Periscope.
Right next to the
in Charlotte?
to
Cowboys?
the glass. Yeah,
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Cowboys?
that's enough arena talk. But
You guys are in a little
there, I knew that was
There it is,
coming.
Caden. Yeah.
He found it.
all right, let's open up the phone lines, and so you can
So people
join
can
us
complain.
at 888-855-2297. So you're on Periscope there? You got anything on
Oh, no,
Periscope?
they're
that are-
bitching about the fact that we get off topic every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah, but it related to the game.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay
By the
Gruden
way-
is in the Arena Football Hall of Fame, by the way.
He is.
I
We
think
want to know
is
where
there
it
an
is.
echo in here? I've already said that.
Yeah. Welcome, Limburg Lands in
Thank you,
Paris.
Caden.
Where's the building there, Caden?
Oh, that's going to take another 30 minutes.
But how about speaking of, we weren't speaking of hot seats, but I was thinking of hot seats and Ron Rivera now being on the hot seat in Carolina. How about Jay Gruden? Jay Gruden, he has all this arena football experience, and then he was an offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals for 3 years and got this head coaching job. So they haven't had a whole lot of success in Washington with him as the head coach.
No, and that's why, again, I think this game is really, really important that you don't want to find him. He doesn't want to find himself losing a team. They go down 0-2, and then I think they have the Bears the following week. I mean, it doesn't get any easier for any of these teams. You got to find a way to win these games and stuff. So nobody in the league feels sorry for anybody, though. I mean, trust me, they don't feel sorry for Carolina, and guys don't feel sorry for Washington or anybody else in this league. So, he's under some pressure, but they've given him a lot of time to try and
Haven't given him a quarterback, have they?
No.
Well, they had Alex Smith, and
Yeah.
they did a nice job for them, but.
They drafted a quarterback this year, though. They drafted the kid. They're just not ready to play. I mean,
Dwayne
Haskins just isn't ready to play. And Gruden might not. I mean, it might get to the middle of the season where all of a sudden next time we play them, it might be Dwayne Haskins playing
Which is
quarterback.
the last game of the season.
Yep.
In fact,
That's
it's a
right.
pretty good chance Dwayne Haskins is going to be the quarterback for the Redskins in the last game of the season.
All right, Periscope actually coming through here. What's more important here, fixing the run defense or getting to their quarterback? Question they have.
Well, if you don't fix the run defense, you ain't going to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think
pretty
I think the
simple.
guys on defense will tell you everything starts with the run. I looked it up. I think we said Adrian Peterson went over 100 yards last year. He had 99.
99,
but
right.
it took him a lot of carries, but he ran really hard in the game and kept them kind of balanced on offense. So that's going to be a challenge. But I would say up front, stopping the run. And Chris Richard spoke to the media yesterday and just said it's just all about being disciplined in our gaps, basically. I mean, no secret sauce there, just getting back to what they do. And we'll see if they can clean it up.
Yeah, and it'll probably help that Crawford and Lawrence will play more.
I said that yesterday.
They played half a game,
it was,
right?
It was 62 snaps combined from those two. And you got to think both will. Crawford had a good day yesterday, so I think that looks good for him Sunday to try to up the workload a little bit. You got to think Tank will have more than 32 snaps.
I mean, there
this
were
week.
69 snaps, I believe, the opponents ran last week. So, a normal dose for him would be around 45 to 50. And now that he's healthy, they were holding him back last year because of the shoulder. They knew he was limited. So both of those guys, if they're ready to go, let's go. But they better stop the run, because if you're not stopping the run, then you're going to be so conscious of play fakes and you're going to get killed.
Well, and all you had to do is look at that game last night and what Tampa Bay did to Carolina, stopping the run. I believe Carolina had 19 carries for 39 yards in this game, and McCaffrey went over 200 yards total offense a week ago, and they were all over Cam. Let's go to, speaking of that, Scott in Pasadena here on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Scott.
Good morning, Bill. It's Lynn Scott. How are you guys today?
Lynn Scott.
Yeah.
Former defensive back? Or was that Scott Lynn?
It was Lynn Scott.
It was Lynn Scott, right?
He was pretty good player.
Pasadena, Texas, or California?
California.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah.
Where the Sooners will be tomorrow night to take on the UCLA Bruins. And Chip Kelly, go ahead.
You would bring that up. Hey, thank you, one, for your support. I've been working on my California teaching credential, and I get up early in the morning, study, and then use your show as my break.
There you go. Thank you.
Just received my clear credentials this week, so thank you.
Very good.
I want to tell you, I looked at tape from the last two games. We played Washington last year.
Yeah.
Game 2 went so well for us, and it looks like we had two war daddies. One on defense, Randy Gregory just dominated, and on offense, Amari Cooper. And I was just wondering who you think our war daddies will be on offense and defense Sunday.
Thanks.
That's kind of getting
War
into pick the
click area, yeah, for sure.
Oh, you got to wait another half hour for that, huh?
No, another
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
You want to save
I
more daddies
extended
for
the
10
show.
minutes?
No, you know what?
We could do pick the click
Yeah, we
right
can
now.
do them now.
Sure, why not?
You know
do
what?
'em now.
Can I start first then?
Absolutely.
I'm going to pick somebody you guys aren't going to pick because I'm going to go with Tyrone Crawford in this game. I think that, and I asked the question to Jason Garrett about Donald Penn, and I think that Donald Penn has had a great career, and I think there's a replacement to Trent Williams. He's been okay, but the longer that Donald Penn has to block, the harder it is for him to maintain that leverage and maintain his ability to stay with this guy, to sustain. And these are the types of games where Crawford, he's gonna win with power. He's gonna win with some agility. He's going to win with effort. You know, this is a Donald Penn not holding up very well. And then all of a sudden, if it turns into them throwing the football, I could see Crawford being a factor in this game, rushing the passer at Donald Penn. Anybody on that left side, if you play with effort, if you stay after it, you play with the intensity, Donald Penn can be broken down. And I think that's going to be a good matchup for the Cowboys, not only on the run, but also when they have to throw the football. Keep an eye on him, Crawford.
Okay.
All right. Tyrone Crawford, the pick to click.
I'm going to go to the offensive line for Dallas. And Brian wrote about Connor Williams this week. I got my eye on him in this game because we talked all offseason about how he's added strength and bulk, and this is the type of matchup where he's got to show it off against Daron Payne in the middle of the line. So I think if he can have a big day and control that, then this offense has a chance, despite the environment and a pretty good defensive line for Washington. They got a chance to do some things again offensively that they want to do.
We staying on defense or offense?
You can do wherever you want to go.
Pick the click.
It's your pick, Mick.
I am ready to see Zeke explode. I think that he's ready to go. They're going to ride him, and I think Washington will be so worried about the passing game that, as Michael Irvin pointed out this week, you go ahead and pick your poison.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to pick the most recent thing the Cowboys did, which was throw the ball. So I think they might get a clean box to be able to run, and watch out for Zeke.
I'm going to go with Leighton Vander Esch, making some plays and also being a key in the run defense.
Yeah.
And
you're going to need it. You're going to need guys getting off blocks. I mean, seriously, this is going to. If the Washington does have success, it's because Dallas didn't do a very good job of playing with their hands and getting off blocks. I'm just because there were some games like the game last year that was played there at FedEx, where Peterson had some just clear shot run holes. Where guys were hats on hats, and now he's taking it up inside, and Lawrence is having to chase from the backside to go make this play, but it's 18 yards down the field. So they better find a way to play with their hands, get off blocks, beat some blocks, and get in position to get some tackles in this game.
And another item along those lines, they line up. If Cowboys line up Malik Collins on Eric Flowers,
That's a good possibility.
I was just looking at him on this roster because we talked to him all camp about the type of camp he had. This is an opportunity, a matchup for him. We'll see what he can do with it.
Yeah, Flowers doesn't have to play in space anymore.
Right.
That's why now playing at guard, he has a little bit more of a little bit better chance. But you're right, the quickness, the power. If you want to walk him, you can walk him. But you get under him and go because he does not have power.
I think he'll have. I think Flowers will have a lot of difficulty with Collins.
Well, he's on that left side over there with Donald Penn. So if it's coming from that left side, or that actually the Cowboys' right side, you'll know why. For sure,
yeah. So, and then last week, a good matchup was Fletcher Cox versus Brandon Scherf, but that get off that Cox has.
Yeah, no, he's clearly one of the best there are playing in this game.
Yep.
So,
okay, let's take another break. We got more phone calls to get to as we get you ready for Cowboys Redskins in just a moment.
We're learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper Soft Coolers at OtterBox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
And when you go to Jack Black, they take care of all your skin. Doesn't matter if it's facial, part of your beard lube that helps you shave, and also the skin underneath your arms with Pit Boss, the antiperspirant they've come out with now. So go to getjackblack.com.
I wondered where you were going with that.
Always.
I was just kind of going, what are the skin we dealing with here?
Okay, Brian, you have any interest in Minka Fitzpatrick?
A lot of questions about that, right? Talked to people, and they said we will not talk about players that are under contracts with other teams. So that's the answer I got.
What did he do?
The Dolphins have given him the opportunity to go seek a trade.
Do they just want to get rid of everybody?
That's kind of
everyone wants to leave.
They all requested trades. Multiple guys did, according to reports, after the first game.
He started at corner last year for him. He played safety for him this summer. He played linebacker in this last game. They were really, overall, they were just really bad as a team on defense. The Ravens did a really nice job of attacking them with Lamar Jackson, but. Yeah, I reached out to some people this morning. And they said, hey, listen, we just can't comment about people that are under contract. We haven't heard anything from them. So, I mean, people are saying, oh, it's reported he's seeking to trade. Well, until the team, the Dolphins, initiate trade talks, you have to be real careful about that. So that's kind of what I know right now about that.
Where does he fit in?
Well, yeah, that's what I was.
He could play nickel corner. He could play corner. He could play safety. He could play a lot of different spots.
So he's going to come in here and start?
He could, if you did something with, if you moved on from, well, he would be insurance. He would be insurance for, at least you could start him at safety if you wanted to, if you wanted to compete him against Jeff Heath, because him and Woods would be a pretty good match together. You could use him if something happens next year again with Brown and being gone and Jones being gone. So it kind of buy you. He's got like 3 years left and then a 5th-year option. So, yeah, he's kind of and he's very, very inexpensive. He's like $1.2 million for him. So, and he's a really good football player, but he's just in a bad situation right now with the Dolphins. A lot of players are in bad situations there.
What do we read into the tweet from Taco yesterday, the waiting game with an hourglass?
Yeah, he thinks he's going to get moved on or released or something. I said it on the show earlier in the week. If he's a healthy scratch this week, they need to move on from him. That's just how I feel. I mean, no sense of just continuing on this way. That's just, don't have a disgruntled player in your locker room if you can help it.
Well, you're going to have to make a roster move next week.
Robert Quinn's coming back.
Quinn, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you might get an exemption for him for a few days of practice, but if he's ready to go, then, you need a roster exemption and make a roster.
They got 53 on the roster right now, by the way, and I was kind of under the impression they didn't, but they signed. They signed Covington.
They did sign Covington.
They just didn't announce it. They signed Covington. They got 53 on the roster. I was thinking, okay, and Jason Garrett was talking to us about, no, we haven't done anything with Covington yet, but they signed Covington. He's on the roster. So if they want to get Cedric Wilson on the roster, they are going to have to make a move today or tomorrow by 3 o'clock to get that done.
Or you grit your teeth.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing on Taco is the other teams know that Quinn's coming back after this week, and so if you're talking trade with another team,
sure,
they're sitting there going, well, let's wait and see what you do with them when you have to make a decision there.
You're going to get a 12-pack.
Yeah. Bob in Tennessee, you're up next on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Bob.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Good.
Hey, Mick, big fan. Been a Cowboys fan since 1969, so I used to get the Dallas Cowboys Weekly and read all the articles, so I really enjoy your show.
Thanks.
But this question is for Brian.
Okay.
Brian,
I'm just laughing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
So in your evaluation as a former scout, and I'm thinking about Tristan Hill, I'm thinking about Taco Charlton.
Sure.
As a scout, when you're evaluating these players, obviously you're looking at the physical attributes and all that. Do the scouts talk to coaches about the attitudes and things of that?
Yes.
So what happens if we draft players, maybe like a Taco Charlton or someone else whose attitude isn't maybe what the coach described it to be? Do we as scouts, or do you as scouts look at that and say, you know what, that coach has lost all credibility? Because I wonder sometimes.
Oh no, you're absolutely. That's why you talk to the equipment men, the trainers. Those are the people that deal with him every day. You go in there and listen. Rod Marinelli lived with Tristan Hill, basically lived with him. This spring, and they did their due diligence too on Taco as well. Now, if people are telling you that they're now, I'll give you an example. I will give you we had a Goodwin, the corner that we drafted from Tennessee back in the day that got put in jail. Mm-hmm. And I remember
Dwayne Goodrich?
Goodrich, not Goodwin. Yeah. Goodrich, yeah. Dwayne Goodrich. We drafted Dwayne Goodrich. Henry Stroka went to the University of Tennessee and got every bit of information you could get about him. He said he wasn't tough. He didn't like to lift weights. He didn't work hard. And we still draft the guy. You get all this information and you still, but because you're listening to a coach from that program tell you, oh, no, he's tough. He works hard. He does this. Henry Stroka had every bit of information about Dwayne Goodrich as far as a player goes. And so you get that information. How you choose to use it is on you. It's on the front office. As a scout, you can only say, hey, this is what my guys are telling me. This is what my guys tell me about Quincy Carter. This is what my guys tell me about Taco Charlton. credibility, you know who to talk to and who not to talk to when it comes to these types of situations.
But why do you include Hill in there? I don't think Hill's a problem child.
No, I think he's talking more. He may be talking about Tristan
He's just
Hill
inactive, being inactive in his second
but
round.
that's not why he's inactive.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
And that's not why Taco's inactive either, by the way.
You want to enlighten us why?
Well, they don't think he's playing well.
Okay.
I think it's pretty obvious. You can have a bad attitude, but if you're a bad attitude and not playing well, then you're probably not getting on the field.
From the Mickey Spagnola eyeball test, 30 practices and 4 preseason games, says he played better.
He played better, but I don't know that it was every down. I don't know how consistent he was.
Okay.
But again, the guys that took his place didn't exactly have stellar performances.
That's exactly right.
And we're about to find out what kind of stellar performance they have this week. Noon Sunday. Catch Brian at 11 a.m.
Be out there in the plaza.
In the plaza, and you can be a part of it too. The watching party on the plaza here at the Star. And we'll talk at you again on Monday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.